What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we'll be discussing how you can set realistic trading goals and expectation. I target the blueprints of sustainable growth in this space. So now I'm going to break down this video into about 6 to 7 talking points. So I'm going to be talking why most traders fail. I'm going to also be talking about the psychology of success. I'm going to be talking about how you can reframe what goals really means in forex. I'm going to be talking about the 3 pillars of realistic goal setting. I'm also going to be talking about a sample of sustainable trading goals, something you can look forward to working with. Then I'm going to be closing with the mindset check and sustainable success mantra. So if your first trading goal is to quit your job in 6 months, I'm going to be here to give you the good news that it don't work like that. You're just setting yourself up for massive failure. It don't work like that. Keep your job, learn the skill, and trade. Over time, you can replace your job, but not within 6 months, especially if you're a newbie. It don't work like that. So why most traders fail and the myths of overnight success. So I wrote here, I said most traders don't fail because they lack information or because their thinking methodology is skewed. They fail because of their expectation, and the expectation is mostly toxic. What I say toxic is they expect the market to do something for you. The market don't care about you. The market is doing its thing. People are buying and selling. You don't care about you. You don't care about fulfilling your expectation. The market, if it's buying, is buying. If it's selling, is selling. And it sells and buys randomly. So you get to the point where you can read the tape properly. No strategy is going to show you how to read the tape in perfection. Or trying to look for the holy grail. It don't work like that here. So some of the things that affect a newbie trader that skew your expectation is you online and you see somebody trade $200 to 20K or $100 to maybe $10,000, and you think that's how it works. Some of those traders have enough capital as backing, so they are basically gambling at that point. That's not trading. So you that you're a newbie and an intermediate trader, you're trying to do the same without the right thinking methodology. You're already setting yourself for burnout. You're already setting yourself up for failure. The impatience loop of saying I'm going to make 5,000 this week, I'm going to make 10,000 this month. That makes you put pressure on the market, and you can't put pressure in the market. The market is going to reward you for patience, for discipline, for consistency. So imagine I'm going to use this quick analogy. And I said, imagine you're going to the gym and you say you want to have 6 packs in 2 weeks. Now imagine you live for 5 hours, 7 days a week with no rest. Don't you think you're going to burn out? Do you think you're going to achieve having the perfect 6 packs in 2 weeks with that amount of training? That's how the beginner trader think when they come into this space and how they set goals for themselves. That is not realistic. The psychology of successful trading and how you can adopt that to your own thinking methodology is they don't trade to win fast. Professional traders, successful traders don't trade to win fast. They trade to stay in the game forever. They trade consistently to stay in the game for as long as possible. They define success by execution quality, execution process, methodology, process thinking, not just their P&L. You have to have the right realistic expectation if you are trying to become successful in this space. Now, some examples I'm going to use here for some of the top traders or top psychology traders in this space. I'm going to use Mark Douglas. I'm always referencing Mark Douglas because he's one of the traders that has really impacted my trading game psychologically. Mark Douglas said, you don't need to know what's going to happen next for you to make money. You just need to see what you need to see and execute. The market will reveal to you if you're going to make money on that trade or not. Paul Tudor Jones said, don't focus on making money, focus on protecting what you have. In protecting what you have, it means risk management. If your risk management is on par, you get to the place where you want to, which is profitability. So professional traders often aim for 3 to 10% in a month, and sometimes those 3 to 10% don't even materialize in a month. So you have to start looking at everything in sample. Okay, in 12 months, if I'm able to make 3 to 10%, 7 months out of 12 months, that's 5 months, I may not really make up to 3%, but 7 months out of 12, I'm able to make up to 10%. See, that's realistic. That's something you can work towards, and you'll be able to achieve it. So I'm going to be teaching you here how you're going to be able to reframe what goals really mean in this space. So let's say, for example, you say, I want to make 500 this week. You should reframe that from thinking I want to make 500 into, I'm going to be taking 3 quality setups this week and controlling my emotion. Then the result will present itself by just doing what you're supposed to do. Instead of thinking, I'm going to make 5K in 1 month, you can think, I'm going to grow my capital by 3% every month. Not the total money, not the grand money, the percentage. You can also say, instead of just trading randomly, you can focus on, I'm going to be taking 2 quality setup. And what quality setup means for everybody is different. So you have to figure out what quality setup means to you behind the camera. You have to now shift your goal lens to how much you can make at the end of each month. So how I can improve my trade selection so that I select the trades with high probability. So now I wrote here the 3 pillars of realistic goal setting. One of them is cognitive goals, the mental mastery. It entails mastering thinking in probability as your core concept in your trading journey. Number 2, you need to internalize the concept of random distribution between wins and losses for every given methodology or every given samples of your trading. Number 3, you have to build confidence in your system, not the outcome. Your system, you have to build, and what makes you have confidence in your system, you have to test extensively. Now, the second pillar is going to be your technical goals, mastering your system, mastering your trading methodology. So instead of saying I want an 80% win rate, which is very possible, you can have an 80% win rate. But I, for one, I'm going to advise you to focus on trading on high quality zones, avoiding maybe news. If you know you trade on a smaller time frame where some of the red folder news is going to affect you, you cut that out. Those are also part of the things that affect your probability. You can cut it out. For me, I trade it. So because I trade it 4-hour time frame, so you can cut it out or you can leave it based on what you think. You need to, for you to know all of this, you need to backtest at least 200 to 300 of your setup to know what works, what's not working, how to tweak what's working from what's not working. And with every section you backtest, you learn more of your trading methodology. That's why I see why it makes no sense for you to be strategy hopping. Because imagine testing up to 500 of a particular trading methodology that works and gives you at least 60% win rate. Then you dump that for another strategy. For you to jump to another strategy, you have to test the same thing, 300 to 500 setups, which is work. So you need to make sure your testing game is on par. And number 3, we're going to be looking at on the pillars of setting realistic goals is going to be on your emotional goals, which is mastering discipline. Part A of that is going to be, you need to learn how to stay flat when nothing is clear. If it's not clear to you, sit on the sideline. I used to tell myself, if I can't read the tape properly, sit on the sideline, let the market unveil what that particular area is trying to tell me, then I can learn from it. Sometimes it's not bad to sit on the sideline. If the trade is clear, do not hesitate. But if it's not clear to you, it's okay to sit on the sideline. You need to learn to walk away when you are on a losing streak of more than 2 trades, 3 trades in a day. That's not good for your mental state. Like me, I trade on a 4-hour time frame, so I can rarely lose 2 trades in a day. So if you trade on a smaller time frame, you need to set max amount of trades. If I take 2 losers, I'm going to sit today out and go again for tomorrow opportunity. Then you need to learn how to execute without fear. No hesitation, execute. Once Matt Douglas said something, he said once your edge presents itself, execute. No analyzing, no making judgments, execution. Because if you have understood that you don't need to know what's going to happen next to be in a winning trade, then what's the point of extra analyzing? Once your edge presents itself based on what you have tested, go ahead and execute. So some of I've listed some examples of realistic trading goals for beginners here. And number 1 is you need to master 1 pair. I trade up to 11 pairs because I'm not a beginner. As a beginner, you need to master 1, then you can start adding more to your trading arsenal. Excuse me. Number 2, you need to journal 30 consecutive trades with screenshots and emotional reflection. 30 consecutive trades with screenshot of the trade and what your emotions was telling you when you were in that particular trade. Number 3 is going to be backtest 1 strategy across 6 months of data. 6 months is even small. Backtest 1 strategy across 3 years of data. Because this game is a mathematical game of data. Data. You need to know your data as much as possible. You need to be as close to your strategy as much as possible. You need to stick to a consistent risk. If you have $10,000 to trade with, you're risking at least 1 to 2%. This is for beginners, 1 to 2%, pending when you become very, very grounded with your trading methodology. And finally, for beginners, you need to build a weekly review every Saturday or Sunday. Review your trades, see where you have lapses, see where you can improve, and how you can improve going into the following week. Now, for my intermediate traders, I have 5 things for you. You have to maintain a very consistent risk, 3% to 5%. That's if you are becoming very good at identifying your edge. Number 2, you need to achieve positive expectancy over 100 trades. So at the end of 100 trades, you need to be able to come on top. Plus the mistakes, plus whatever happens, you need to be able to come on top. Positive expectancy out of 100 trades that you execute. Cut down over trading. You don't need to be taking 5-6 trades in a day. What's going on? Reduce your over trading. And how to reduce over trading is to set max trading amount of setups you take in a day and stick to it. I was listening to something from Alex G. If you know Alex G on Instagram, he said if you break your trading rule, if you have a dread, cut one of the dreads off, then you learn to stick with your trading rule. I hope that works for you. Find something that works to discipline yourself. Now, execute your trade. Number 4 is going to be executing your trade with 0 deviation from the written plan. What you have written down, execute. Don't deviate from your plan. Trade the plan, not your emotion. Trade the plan, not your emotion. And finally, you need to start to withdraw partials as the trade keeps going. You need to start withdrawing partials to train yourself to take money from the market and be in control. So finally, I have this final note for you guys. Trading will pay you in direct proportion to how well you manage your expectation. It's not the market's job to make you rich. It's your job to stay consistent, be patient, and be prepared. That's the difference between the 80% or the 90% and the 10% that are successful in this space. My own trading mantra is my goal is not to win every trade. My goal is to execute every trade with discipline, clarity, and control. Profits will be a byproduct of doing these things right. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you find this useful, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to subscribe to this channel. Let's build a community where we become consistent traders, where we have the right mindset, where we execute without reservation, without hesitation, without fear, where we become the best apart from trading, even in our own private lives. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.